project's going really well. We're a little over halfway. It's a really exciting time for me to become involved in the project. Coming off the bridge from the north, approaching the St Mary's Bay motorway section that is occupying its full footprint. In the south, from the Wellington Street on-ramp that's been reopened, we've commenced excavation down to the southern entrance to the tunnel. The tunnel structure itself the shell is 90% complete, and we are moving into the fit-out and preliminary commissioning works, which will lead to completion of the tunnel.
We're about 10 months from finishing the tunnel now, and through the park we're really working on closing in the surface. As you see behind me, the roof is going on with the last section within the park. And then that's the process of putting the waterproofing on and getting the backfill in ready to be planting and turning it back into a park in another couple of months' time. So work inside the tunnel is going very well. We've excavated right the way through from Victoria Street to the northern portal and beyond. So it's an open tunnel, and we're just getting ready tomorrow to pour the last base slab within the park, which is a real milestone for us. It gives us a concrete base all the way through. So within the tunnel we're already well underway with the finishing work, putting up the precast panels on the walls and getting ready to build the mezzanine floor behind the panel, which gives the egress passage and the service passage to the tunnel. On the other side of the tunnel, the panels are up, which are a finishing item. They're sort of aesthetic panels, and they also take the fire lining which goes across the roof, and that protects the tunnel in case of a fire on when the traffic is in it. The teams are doing exceptionally well. It's very congested and quite noisy down here, but we're just going very well, and it's all downhill to the finish now.
We may be working in the city, but this project definitely has a large range of environmental constraints and requirements for it. One of the largest issues we have to deal with in this project is how to deal with the contaminated waste from the old gasworks in the area. Gasworks waste makes up almost 2/3 of the waste that we've had to dispose of on this project. In fact, all the runoff from the project that comes into contact with soil on the job has to be treated as contaminated water. This contaminated water has to be treated on site and then disposed of to our local sewer lines. We've put into place a campaign of wheel washers, ensuring that we're not tracking dirt and mud out onto the public roads. We have a range of other environmental issues such as noise and vibration, and how we're going to go about rehabilitating or landscaping the project once we're finished. One of the challenges we have is how we go about growing grass in low-light conditions beneath the viaduct. We're currently undertaking trials to determine which grasses will grow best. The project team has been doing a fantastic job working around a very tight site, including working around some protected totara trees which are planted in the middle of the work site. This has been an extremely challenging project to work on from an environmental perspective, but I think it's gone exceptionally well. I think we're leaving a legacy that will set the standard for future projects.
So this is the acoustic barrier through St Mary's Bay here, which is going really well. We've just started putting some panels up the last couple of weeks. The panels are acrylic and we got them in from Germany. They have a black stripe that runs through them, which is to stop the birds from flying into them. We actually saw this system in use in Australia and saw a bird flying up over the top of the panels, so we know that it works. The noise all runs eventually from Jacob's Ladder Steps at the Victory Christian Church all the way through to Shelley Beach Bridge, which will be over 1 kilometre long. So working night shift at the moment, putting in up to 20 panels a night, which is well ahead of what we were estimating at the beginning, so it's going really well.
So one of the complicated jobs on this project has been dealing with a complex number of services that we've had to deal with. No doubt one of the hardest and riskiest challenges has been the permanent diversion of the Ōrākei main sewer. The existing line currently runs through what will be the tunnel's southern portal. Our brief is to divert the Ōrākei main sewer along and over the tunnel and tie in at either end. To do this, we need to build 2 bypasses. We need to remove sections of the OMS. We need to complete stormwater lines that run adjacent to the OMS but underneath. We need to then build the permanent OMS, permanent diversion to the OMS, and then we need to remove the temporary bypasses and make good the line. So this has required extensive planning, and we've had a series of workshops with Watercare who own the asset in order to gain their confidence and learn from them, and all with just cause, because if we were to break or block the line, there's nowhere for Auckland's constant sewerage to go, just nowhere to go.
One of the very satisfying aspects of the project is the heritage works that's being undertaken. The Rob Roy Hotel, which was moved late last year, is going to be slid back into position in April, and currently the Campbell Free Kindergarten refurbishment works are well underway and will be completed in April also.
The kindergarten's at a really exciting stage right now. We're probably about overall 80% through the works. In the front building, the tiles were completed about a month ago, which went really smoothly. And once we had a watertight structure, we're then able to go and do a lot of works on the inside. The front room, which we call GO1, was the original kindergarten space, and that's coming along really well. We're basically rebuilding that off a photo that was taken 100 years ago. So all roof beading, wall detail with picture rails and data rails are going back in as it was. Over 60% of those doors and windows are actually original and have been refurbished. It was only the front few that had been removed at some point. We've also made huge progress with the exterior of the building. A chemical paint removal system was used on the front brickwork and stone lintels, and on the exterior render section of the building we used soda blasting. Moving into the two-storey section of the building, the staircase is in, the top landing being 100 years old, and most of that's original material that's been refurbished. Most of the plastering in there is done now, and that has now allowed us to, in 1 week's time, hand over to the M&E guys, the mechanical and electrical team, to put their equipment in. Moving on to the very north section of the building, which is the 1938 addition. The ceiling's done in there now, and we're just onto the wall linings. We've had quite a few council and interested parties come through, and they've got hopes and ambitions for it to probably one day be a cafe. We're only a couple of months from the end now. It's been fantastic 6-7 months. Dave, Cameron and his team have done a great job, and we look forward to handing over a finished product to the council.
So the project's going really well. We have a great team with one of the strongest spirits that I've seen. There have been some excellent initiatives in health and safety. Our environmental performance is very, very good, and we have excellent relations with our stakeholders. I couldn't be more pleased with where the project is heading at the moment.